The work that is in the window is a political protest of the erosion of the Constitution of the United States. Been working on a lot of stuff since 9/11, and especially since the USA Patriot Act 2001, Homeland Security Act 2002, US Military Commissions Act 2006, the Violent Radicalization and Homegrown Terrorism Prevention Act of 2007. These are all laws that the Bush administration have put down in attempts to erode the Constitution of America. Basically, it's sort of the McCarthy era all over again, except now the US has the right to spy and use secret evidence upon its citizens and detain anybody they deem terrorist without right to trial. And this angers and it weighs on my conscience. People ask, as a Canadian working on this Americana, why is it so relevant? Well, the choices of America have obviously led to something quite significant globally that I think is affecting a lot of things on a lot of levels, and as Canadian, it's just as relevant as if I was American or Swedish or Antarctic. In searching for what was quite American, I came up with the American flag, and actually the story behind it is I went on eBay and found a bunch of flags from Salt Lake City, and I got a big box of American flags, and they were all individually wrapped in plastic, of course, and opened them up, and they all had these little made in China labels on them. And I thought, how perfect that is in exactly what I'm trying to speak up against. So each of the life preservers have the actual made in China labels on them, because I thought that was quite important. America has outsourced most of its production to third and fourth world countries, which I think has become part of the problem. But I was trying to think of something that would be completely opposite what is in the whole window display, and I thought cupcakes. So I went and bought these cupcakes from a cupcake store, and what do you need some cupcakes for? And I said, I'm using them for a social, political art experiment. Okay!
Would you like
the pink ones or the blue? So I went for the pink ones. And I had a great conversation with this cupcake woman, actually. And so I brought the cupcakes back in here, and I lined up the cupcakes, and then I got a phone call in the morning from Brian actually called me because the building manager guy was hassling him to get me down there. There's ants coming into there's a line of them, and they're eating the cut, and we can't have ants in the building, and this is quite, and I thought, how perfect is that? It's almost like the worker man, and it is, and a cupcake, and then I started thinking a cupcake is it's something that is made with the intent for consumption, and it's sweet. And so it kind of tied into the whole thing, actually, by chance. Yeah, I was denied access to America last summer because I was doing a performance in San Francisco. And, I had a bunch of life preservers and stuff in the back of the car, but they actually never saw it, but they basically, I misrepresented myself is what they said. But I also, I was detained in a little room with a poster that said, terrorism and you! And it had like the fire chief and the mailman and the housewife next door, and all like pointing like this, like the Uncle Sam thing, that, terrorists are all around you, and we must act as patriot Americans to detain anything abnormal. And of course, I was abnormal going from the corner talking about my performance where I was amplifying a skateboard railing and a skateboard and then riding this rail and creating noise and sound effects.
Clearly a weapon.
And the custom guy is just looking at me. And how are you making money from that? I'm not. And he looked it up on the webpage, and it was this festival in San Francisco, a sound festival, and he said, well, it says here tickets are $15, $20, and you're not getting paid for this. And I said, that's right. It's like, I don't believe you. You are working in you're taking jobs away from Americans. And I'm like, nah, there's a lot of people amplifying skateboards and skateboard railings right now. It's really hard up for work. I don't know. I don't know how much I want to really go more into that stuff. But it was basically a real first-hand experience with Homeland Security and how narrow the vision is. So, but yeah, so I ended up doing a video of the actual performance I was going to do, and then I FedExed it to the festival, and then they played it when I was supposed to do it live on a big screen, and then it actually got more press and stuff because it was like, Canadian denied entry. Whatever. So I still got to do it, you know, just not live. Any Americans in the house? I mean, it's not, I have nothing against that. I have a lot of great friends who are Americans, and San Francisco is actually one of my favorite cities in the world. I've traveled up to a lot of places, and it's not about Americans or the people, or I think what I'm speaking against pretty much is mostly the last 8 years in the Bush administration, but also just the system they are kind of like the Roman Empire that I think has abused its power. And that's what I'm talking about. Not necessarily Americans, but a system. All systems are flawed.